Welcome to the Vision Board Party Day 3, and we are on emotional freedom. So this is the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge as well with me, Iona Meade. So welcome. If you are new to me, then we have got a whole week. We've been doing this Vision Board challenge. So Monday, we talked about contribution freedom. Yesterday, we talked about health freedom. Today is emotional freedom. And I'm going to walk you through what exactly we're going to cover for the rest of this week. You will have replays on my YouTube channel at the Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona. If you do leave any comments, I will pull them up on the screen. So I want to celebrate. Help me celebrate. Say, yay. We have 222 members in the Facebook group. So thank you for everybody who has joined and everybody who has filled out the questions and all of that great stuff. All right, so let me just share with you what it is that we are going to do this week with emotional freedom, or today with emotional freedom. And I will just address some of the questions that you guys had as you guys are hopping in, because I am a little bit early. So I won't be able to see any comments, but I will just now, but I will come back. All right. So emotional freedom is, we're going to talk about the emotional scale. Abraham Hicks's emotional scale, moving up and down the emotional scale. If you don't know what that is, I'll explain. And if you're new to vision boarding, that just think of the emotional freedom as the glue for you to get a handle on your emotions and raise your vibrational frequency. If you've ever tried to manifest, ever done a vision board, and you have lower vibrational feelings of like fear and different things like that, then it impacts your ability to manifest. I know that's like, oh, that's crazy. What am I going to do? But I'm going to share everything with you. But what I want to do is just acknowledge you and say hi. Let me know where you're watching from while I just acknowledge some of our members' questions. I'm not going to reveal what it is that you've actually said in as your response or who it is. But what I did was I asked members who've come into the Vision Board Challenge so I can gauge this training to you. And I will be talking about and relating emotional freedom to some of these responses. So I asked 3 questions again in the Vision Board Challenge group and the Bank 50K in 50 Days. So this is not just visualizing and just for the sake of visualizing. It's visualizing to manifest more life-work balance in 2024, and how we feel about our life is going to impact that balance. So I'll read some of the responses. I did this on Monday and on Tuesday as well. So I asked the question, how would, and you can write it down and really think about it and dive a little bit deeper. For those of you who've answered, it might have been the first time that you've actually acknowledged your response, or it might have been ruminating on it and you're like, actually, I'm done with this. Either way, just contemplating on why you're here and how you can move forward and being aware of what's holding you back is gold. So I said, how would manifesting work-life balance and banking 50K in 50 days make a difference to you and your loved one? Because this is not just about us, right? And what's been holding you back from fulfilling it? For example, not feeling worthy, fear of failure, fear of success, and fear of selling, etc. Anything that has been holding you back that's related to you. Procrastination holding you back. And I want to say with procrastination, oftentimes there's something underlying. For me, if I procrastinate, there's 2 forms of procrastination. 1, just procrastinating and avoiding. And 2, if you don't have clarity. And hopefully you'll get some clarity and you'll get some momentum. All right. So hopefully we'll address that. Would be great. Fear of consistency. So not being consistent in terms of your vision. I am supporting you annually. This is a vision board challenge that's annual. So I invite you to come back next year, December 2024, whenever you're watching this throughout 2024, come back and actually see what you're manifesting. So instantly, you've held yourself accountable to not let yourself off the hook and be consistent. And I'm going to share with you again that I journal. We do the vision board and then we journal, and we do the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge after this 7 days. And so somebody asked me that as well, like, we're doing these 7 days and then what are we doing? Are we doing it for 50 days, practicing this and beyond? Yes. Selling clarity. For me, being in service, showing up, speaking out, and serving deep. When you are not clear on what it is that you're offering and how to be in service, I don't actually focus on sales. It might be Bank 50K 50 days, but I focus on being in service, showing up, speaking out, and serving deep. And so if you guys do accept my challenge, my masterclass, and I'll share more with you, my masterclass is about how you speak to, serve, and you sign up your high-paying soul clients. So you're speaking to them, you're serving, and then you're signing up. So it's not just a sell, a hard sell. Would make a huge difference, remove stress. So emotionally, you want to be in a really great place. I'm afraid for some reason, and it's not my personality. So do you resonate with that? Like for something's bubbling up, and whatever that fear is, then we want to just be in awareness of it and journal it out. Fear of failure. And I'm going to talk a lot about this today and I'm going to share my failures and my successes, because failure is inevitable. If anybody's telling you that, you can manifest blah, 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 without failing, they're lying. So that fear of failure, we just reframe it into that feedback. And I know that you probably heard that, like, it's not really failure, it's feedback. And it is, and it's more of that, I know now what not to do. And we've all heard that for all of us to have light, whoever it was, I can't even, who invented the light bulb? I can't think of his name. Whatever his name was, thank you. Because apparently he failed 1,000 times before he got it right? Or he just tried 1,000 times. Can't even remember. Is it Bell or what's his name? Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So another response was, I think it would help me to get where I want in life and help me to have a simpler path. That is what I want for you. Scared of failure, not having a time in the day to take care of my family. We want to have that balance, and how we feel about what we're doing, even if we have to do certain chores and certain things, is also going to affect us in our manifestation process. All right. Scared of failure. No one's been there, done that in the past. It would be amazing to do this challenge. Procrastination's holding you back. So a lot of you said procrastination. So you're not on your own, is what I want to say. It'll make a big difference. Spend more quality time with your family. Fear of success, boundaries, and being exhausted. And I want more than that for you. All right. My professional career, people talk about the balance between their spouse and their children, feeling worthless, being a single parent, fear, lack of knowledge. I'm going to share all of that with you, because we don't just want to create a vision board. Again, it's a process and a journey to move you from where you are to where it is that you actually want to be in 2024. Clarity and support, all of the above. Fear of selling, fear of failure, life work balance, being a mother and entrepreneur is extremely hard. It is. And my daughter, I was speaking to my daughter. I taught my daughter how to read. I was homeschooling my kids. I've been there. My daughter's 20. She's nearly 21 now. And I started back when she was 5, almost 5. And so I know what that feels like as well. And that's why I've created the system that I have. So the second question that I asked was around, I got so many responses to that. That was just half of it. That the vision board, what experience that you've had of the low vibration and manifestation, and did it work? And so some of you said, I've not been consistent in it until now, hence why you want to join the group. I'm not feeling worthy of success, but you want to claim that. You've created several vision boards, but nothing manifested. So this teaching is going to dive deep. Let me know where you're watching from. I can see you on there. Vision boards have worked for me in the past. That's amazing. Yes, I do vision boards every year and have my sales team do them as well. I believe you need to see yourself in that vision, and it needs to be in front of you every day. Exactly that. So law of attraction, and it worked. This would be my first time. Yes, I've created a vision board and it worked somewhat, but a lot did not happen. No, I haven't, not yet. Not really. I found it really hard to be positive. Watching from Texas, welcome. So it says Facebook user. If you feel comfortable with sharing your name, you absolutely can. If you're new to me, then I'm looking forward to creating a relationship with you. Love creating vision boards, need a new one. Love vision boards. Yes, they work. Never created a vision board before, but always wanted to, but never put it together. I'm ready to start creating the life I want and deserve for myself and my family, and don't want to wait to start. That is what I want to hear. And yes, I had a vision board, but not actualized anything. I've created a vision board once, but it didn't help me visualize what I wanted throughout the year. So that's what I want to say. And I've spent 10 minutes on that, but I got so much feedback from you guys. And I want to say that, you know, you're in the right place. All right. Because all of those things I experienced. And so if you have watched day one of this vision board challenge in the Bank 50K in 50 days challenge, you'll have heard me go into really great detail. So you can go back to day one because I explain the backstory of visualizing. So I'm not going to dive into that here. What I want to do is really dive into the emotions and the fear. So when you're thinking about contributing in the world, even this is me contributing. This is me being visible. This is me being on camera. This is me committing to my calling, right? So whatever your calling is, you're going to need to commit to it. And so if you've got fears around that, then that's okay. Practice. You just practice. I wouldn't say practice makes perfect, but I share with you how you can contribute in a way that feels good and in alignment with your soul path. And just know that when you're contributing, it's directly related to your financial freedom. You can't then have the financial freedom. We don't get something for nothing. Bank 50K in 50 days. So if you haven't done that vision board, go back and do it and really spend some time on it of how you want to be in service in the world, and put those things on your vision board, your business, your work, whatever it is, how you want to contribute and how you see yourself making an impact in the world. Because I know that you will have a big vision. Many of the times when we're fearful of receiving the money, it's because we are not actually offering the value. Like I say, offer 10 times the value that you ever ask anyone to invest. Okay, does that make sense? And then that takes out the fear. There's workarounds. It's not like you have to get rid of the fear. It's committing to, if you're going to charge someone, say, I don't know, $100, make it worth 1,000, right? And how do you make it worth 1,000? You package up your services. I call this soul signature system in a way that nobody else is doing it out there. So I teach spiritual business, but I also teach lifestyle, because I know, and that balance, I know that there's many people who will teach you how to write a book, how to do a course, how to do a YouTube channel, how to do a Facebook group, how to do get speaking, how to go out there and get featured. I teach it all because I wanted to learn it. However, when you don't have the time, or you don't believe that you have the time, or you've got other commitments with your family, and people like, do this, do that, do this, do that. I'm like, do you know what? Do this vision board challenge in your own time. Work on your own time frame. Don't get dragged kicking and screaming with somebody else's time frame. So on Tuesday, we talked about health freedom, which was yesterday. Really looking after your health while you're being in service. It's so, so important. We talked about the different types of health. I won't go into those now. Again, watch the replay. So today's emotional freedom. Tomorrow is environmental freedom, which is, I love this day. Where you want to work, how you want to work, how you want to live, what your lifestyle is, where you want to live, like where you want to travel to, where you want to be, who you want to be with, and in where, how you're manifesting all of those things. It's probably going to cost some money. Like, we don't get housing costs and holidays for free unless we spend time trying to win them. Relationship freedom is on Friday, so you don't want to miss any of this. How you feel about your environment, how you feel about your relationships, we're going to bring all of that in. All right. And how you feel about your spirituality. This in itself is a spiritual practice. So we're going to have vision boards for all 7 areas of your life. I call them the intentional living codes. And what we are going to work on today is the feeling of it, that dialing into the frequency of what is on your vision board. Once you get clear, we need you to be in vibrational harmony. We've talked about this throughout the week. So hopefully that makes sense. So let's dive into, I'm going to make this bigger. It just jumped. Did you see that? Hang on. Let me find my mind map again. It just absolutely jumped. Hang on. I've got everything open. I was having a look at this today. So we're going to rate our vibrational frequency. Let me make that bigger. I know it's tiny. We're going to rate our vibrational frequency. And we've done this week of how you feel. So this is what I call my soul legacy wheel. And I know that some of you have asked how to get access to that. And I'm going to let you know as well. Let me make myself smaller, not off the screen. Hang on. Okay, cool. You guys see that? So we're going to relate to this every single day, how you feel. So the Soul Legacy Wheel, again, if you're new, just a really quick recap, is we're launching Leading and Leaving Our Soul Legacy, right? And we're leaving a legacy and passing on our vision, what we visualize, what we think about, what we feel about, what we actually manifest. We're passing that on to our next generation of what is actually possible, right? You know, when you don't have that role model around you, you didn't see anybody doing the things that you really want to do, so that makes you more fearful. If you actually saw people doing the things that you want to do and doing absolutely anything, then you probably would be more confident, right? So we want to blaze the trail. We want to be the first people that do that. And how you feel and how you visualize in every single area of your life, I believe that's the legacy that we're going to leave. So I want to say, for emotional freedom, I've had a lot of losses in my life, and a lot of grief. My son, my dad, my brother, and others. When you go to the depths of those lowest emotions, and you are like assess life in a very different way, the smaller things in life don't take you out anymore. And I know that you will have been through some stuff, right? So whatever you've been through, and you've used that, you've used your emotion to really go at it and overcome stuff. That's the energy that we're going to tap into. I call it badassery, right? We're just going to go for it. So this emotional, the Soul Legacy Wheel is a way to tune into how we feel. And it's a way to tap into our soul guidance. When we just rely on the humanness of ourselves and not our soul self, like source guidance, the universe to support us, the humanness gets in the way, and the humanness goes, I can't do that. But if you've got a vision, what do they say? Whatever the mind of man or woman can conceive, it can achieve. And you wouldn't have a vision if it wasn't possible to manifest it. And it's already manifested in vibrational escrow. We've just got to get out of our own way to allow it in. So we're going to rate our vibrational frequency in terms of our work in the world. So how do you feel about your work? I feel amazing. I'm right here with you. I just annually, I will do this vision board challenge and I will go through my own process. How do you feel about your work? Rate between a 1 and 11. 1 is soul funk and 11 is soul flow, like tuned into source guidance, just allowing things to flow through you and not trying to figure everything out. How do you feel about your lifestyle? Right? How do you feel like you've come to the end of 2023, looking forward, or you may not be looking forward to 2024? Like, in order for you to manifest life-work balance, what do you want to feel like? It's not even the actions, it's feeling it first. What do you want to feel like? You might have a word, just happy and joyful, right? Whatever that is to you, that is success to you. And so I was listening to a interview today by a guy from the Diary of a CEO, Stephen Bartlett, and he was interviewing a guy, Casey Neistat. I don't know that much about Casey Neistat, but I was listening to this interview, and Casey Neistat was saying so many things about failure. So this guy, I've got some notes actually. This guy, he's going to go down in history in legacy, right? So hopefully I could just get permission to share a couple of things that I got from that interview. This is why I love doing interviews and being interviewed. So he said that at his story, he failed so many times, and he said it was painful, right? It was so painful. But what he did was he did his daily vlogs for 800 days in a row, was £200,000 in debt. It took 8 years to get up to yeah, he was £200,000 in debt. It took him 8 years to build a following of 200,000 of doing it. He said it sucked every single day, 800 days in a row. I didn't know that until today. And I've set the intention to do my daily YouTube podcast for the 7 Freedoms as a follow-up for this over the next 7 years. Then he said within 18 months after that, 8 years, he grew to 10 million. Right. And he's had billions of views, blah, blah, blah. He built a company, a tech company, completely out of his comfort zone, wasn't qualified to build his tech company or other companies that he's built. And he sold it for 13.6 million? I mean, 36 million. And he wasn't qualified. And he just went on in this interview. It's absolutely amazing of why he wasn't qualified, how he failed, and he failed, and he failed, and he failed, and he failed, right? So I want to shut some of those down. So when you think about your journey, let me just shut some of those down. When you think about your journey into your emotions, and, you know, it's sucking that you might fail, right? Because I know that some of you are saying, you know, I've got a fear of failure. And I did. But I failed, and I failed forward lots of times. I failed forward publicly, epically, many times. And if you're not new to me, you might have seen me fail forward. The last epic fail, which I don't really feel like it was a failure, it was a growth for me to do what I'm doing now, was I built the Spiritual Businesswoman Network with a co-producer at the time. And we grew to 1,200 members in 12 weeks. Amazing. I had co-authors in my co-author book series. I enrolled. That is where I did the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge. And I enrolled 32K in 37 days. Amazing. Sounds amazing. However, it wasn't the right business model to fill my co-author book. And I had to pause. And it's like, oh God, did I want to do it? No. But was it the best thing to do? Yes. So then I'm back out here. And then I was offline, looking after 3 children under 5 fostering for the last year. And now I'm back, even I've worked on my business in the meantime, and I'm back, and it's like, it's just amazing. And so what I teach is to get in alignment with your contribution and know what your North Star is. My North Star, we talked about this week, my North Star for this YouTube channel, this Soul Legacy TV, Spiritual Business Success with Iona, is to learn about spirituality and business without doing busy work, without being broke, and without experiencing burnout. That is what I want for you. That is why I've created this challenge. And I say, if something's not fun, I'm not doing it. So 2024, just if something's not fun, don't do it. But if it's not fun and it's something, you know, you need to do, make it fun. And they say that for the 80-20 rule, you'll probably be doing 20% of the things that you need to do will give you 80% of the results. So for those of you who say, I don't have time, I've got family stuff, we're going to reduce the things that you are doing and only focus on what I call the income generating activities. So for me, this is fun. And so I've invited you guys into the group, into the Vision Board Party group and the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge. And I've said, you know, for those who want to learn how to build a business model and Bank 50K in 50 days in the vibrational world and the visible world, do you want to have a session? And I'm offering 50 breakthrough sessions that serve. That is how the Bank 50K in 50 days challenge will work. Getting on a phone and being in service. So I've had 42 or 43 people in the last 3 days raise their hand and say yes to that. And I'm like, wow, I love getting on a call. I love being in service. I don't do sales calls, don't do strategy calls, don't do clarity calls, don't do sales calls, I give a breakthrough. And I make it fun. I make it fun getting to know you. And then, yeah, we do have a service to move forward with if I can support you and if it's a soul match. So you want to make things fun. So talking about emotions, and I've got some articles and stuff to open up, but this is a video, and I'm not going to play it, talking about it being emotionally strong. You'll have to let me know if you Google this, YouTube it, 10 signs that you're mentally strong. And so the video talks about characteristics and traits of being mentally strong, basically being resilient. And my ex, and I was in my twin flame union, he sent me this video. And he recognized me being mentally and emotionally strong, and himself being not so strong. And so it's like that meeting of minds is a clash. And so I wanted to be in a relationship. They say, you know, behind every strong woman is a great man is whatever it is. And I wanted to have that match in the meeting of minds. And so it looks like a big, tall mountain to climb to be emotionally strong. But I think that you have a duty to manage your emotions, because if you don't manage your emotions, you're not going to go up the emotional scale, which I'll share with you in a second. And it's going to be a harder process to manifest. And so if you heard of Think and Grow Rich, I love Think and Grow Rich. And part of what Napoleon Hill says is speaking the language of feelings and being money conscious. Again, we're banking 50K in 50 days. Let me make that a little bit bigger, a tiny bit bigger. I'll try. Speaking the language of feelings, being money conscious. He said 7 major positive emotions and 7 major negative emotions. And notice, I've got the book, but I'll probably knock everything off if I even try and show you it. You know, Think and Grow Rich, right? Well, the positive emotions and the negative emotions, we want to lean on the side of positive, right? And so the emotions of, he talks about in his book, the emotion of desire, faith, sex, love, hope, and romance, right? And enthusiasm versus fear. And many of you said, you know, I have fear. And so we want to figure out how do we move up the emotional scale. And again, I'll talk about it, we'll journal about it, and we'll take soul-guided action so you can move through that fear and not let it own you. But being aware is the first thing. So negative emotions, fear, hatred, revenge, superstition, anger, greed, and jealousy. And I know that many of those emotions you guys won't feel, but just being aware of there's 2 sides of that coin and making a commitment in 2024 to do things differently. All right. So I'm going to go to, hang on. There's an article that I want to share. And then on this vision board challenge, we're going to put your emotional freedom on the vision board. I'm just going through the top of here. I think it's this one. All right. So this is on Oprah.com, 3 steps to emotional freedom. That is what we're talking about today. All right. So step 1, I'm not going to read all of this. I'm just going to give you a pointer. And again, I'll leave all of the links in the online training portal. All right. So I was going to say, hopefully you can see that, but I've just pulled Canva out of there. Okay. Identifying negative legacy emotions. Notice how it's legacy, because that's what we're passing on. Like every single one of these areas, we pass it on. And if you've had any comments, I haven't seen it. If you've got any comments and questions, feel free to comment. Identify your negative legacy emotions. So every single area, you're leaving a legacy. We're showing. So whoever raised you, your caregivers, how are they emotionally stable? Whoever's around you, how are they emotionally stable? And do we want to be emotionally stable for our next generation? I do. So many people live amid so much guilt, shame, and anxiety that they become like a fish that had been swimming in polluted water since escaping their eggs. A poor fish may have no idea that it is living under abnormal environmental conditions, yet it will feel the equivalent of a fish joyfulness when it finally experiences fresh, clean water. This is the same for you. So when you get stuck in a rut, I was stuck in burnout. I'm going to talk about that quite a lot, and the coping mechanisms that I use and I don't now. It's not like there's no shame or guilt around not managing your emotions. Sometimes it's overwhelming. So it's no different for you. Guilt, shame, and anxiety are so painful that we will do almost anything to ward them off. To avoid feeling guilty, we make no choices that seem remotely bad, selfish, or self-serving. To avoid feeling shame, we hold back our opinions at work or in our marriage, and we don't want to do that. And we never try anything creative like writing or making artwork or dancing to avoid feeling anxiety. We give up taking risks to try anything new. Is that true for you? Like from the questions and the responses, is like, I might be judged, or like you're just not approved of, or you haven't done that before. There's something holding you back, and there's something making you feel that fear. The second point was reject any compliance with these emotions. Do you want to redecorate your home? So in the vision board challenge, we'll do all things that you want to do, build furniture, play music, draw, paint? Do you want to go to the theatre or travel? Do you want to start a small business or volunteer and help others? Want to do all of that? Pursue a career you love, get a degree, find a person with whom to share your life with? Yes. Improve your marriage or relationships with your children, make a difference in the world. If you fail to act, this is key. If you fail to act on these desires, your demoralizing negative legacy emotions are probably stopping you. They probably kick in whenever you consider or imagine asserting yourself towards fulfilling your dreams. That is huge. That is huge. And so it says, instead of obediently complying with or caving into these emotions, recognize and name them as like enemies you plan to confront and overcome. You guilt, you are shame, you are anxiety, you are chronic anger or numbness. Like, it's detaching yourself. We are not our emotions. The third step is triumph over, transcend these emotions. Triumph over and transcend these emotions. The third step towards emotional freedom requires fulfilling your potential to become a source of love. We know that, right? It's beautiful. But over decades now, there have been more working definition. Love is joyful awareness. And that's where we want to vibrate. We want to move up the emotional scale. And if you don't know what the emotional scale is, I'm going to talk about that. Find it next. So there's lots of images for the emotional scale. It says, what is the emotional scale? The emotional guidance scale is a list of commonly felt emotions. These range from joy, appreciation, freedom, love, empowerment, the highest; fear, despair, depression, grief, powerlessness, the lowest. And so we want to move up the emotional scale, which is easier said than done sometimes. Don't even know if you can see that. Can you see that? If I click on it, don't know what that did then. It just went, I'm aware that it's gone blank, but I'm hoping, yes. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. So the upward spiral for manifesting is contentment, hopefulness, optimism, positive expectation, enthusiasm, passion, joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love. That's where we want to really go in 2024, more of. And it's okay to feel the contrast, because when we feel the contrast, it's birthing that desire, right? And the downward spiral is boredom, pessimism, frustration, irritation, impatience, overwhelm, disappointment, doubt, worry, blame, discouragement, anger, revenge, hatred, jealousy, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness. So a lot of you said, I don't feel worthy, or fear, grief, depression, powerlessness, and victim. So we figure out how we can move up the emotional scale and turn it around, right? And that's what this whole process is. When we put our vision on our vision board, notice how we feel and notice what patterns that we have. And so when I was teaching this, and I've got a 2-hour monthly coaching call called the 7 Freedoms Frequency Call-In Gym to support my students on this. And when I was doing coaching, what I noticed is we can like notice a pattern. So where you might go down the emotional, start to go down the emotional scale at overwhelm. If you feel overwhelmed, as some of you said, I feel overwhelmed, then you go all the way down the emotional scale, or some of it, but you're low vibing. And then you might be like, oh, well, I'm a bit hopeful, I'm a bit optimistic, and start to move up the emotional scale. If you handle the overwhelm, right, and you're consistent in that managing of that overwhelm, it's less likely that you're going to go to, the trigger is to go down the emotional scale, right? And so, and you learn to collapse your pattern and go through it faster, if that makes sense. So once you know, oh, well, usually it's doubt or usually it's worry that takes me out, there's a pattern. We're not that complicated. There's usually a pattern. It might be 1 or 2 things that take you out and take you down the emotional scale. When we learn them and we journal on them, then because we visit Emotional Freedom every single Wednesday, then we can go up to the emotional scale and start to think of thoughts that make us feel maybe more hopeful or more optimistic in 2024. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense so far. I'm going to check in with you. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. I'd love your input. If you're new to vision boarding, hopefully that will be helpful. So I typed in about the scale for the law of vibration. I'll check in just a second. The emotional frequency chart, again, for example, enlightenment, peace, joy, our emotions with the highest frequency, or fear, grief, apathy, guilt, and shame are the lowest. So we just want to be aware of the law of vibration. And I learned this from, not directly, but Bob Proctor was known for that, the late Bob Proctor. When I was feeling emotionally, like going down the emotional scale when I went through burnout, and I know that some of you said that, you've experienced burnout. So I just use that as an example. Burnout is a state of physical and emotional exhaustion, and it can occur when you experience long-term stress, for example, working in a stressful job, which some of you have said that you are. Common signs of burnout: feeling tired, feeling drained, most of the time feeling helpless, trapped, or defeated. So there might be something else that's going on when you think, oh, it's just that I'm tired. Some of you said that I'm fatigued. Might be burnout, and some of you said that you're stressed. So 5 symptoms of burnout: headache, stomach aches, intestinal issues, fatigue, frequent illness, changes in appetite and sleep. We want you to be taking care of yourself. Some of the symptoms, signs you might be experiencing burnout: to regain balance. So your mental well-being is the unique way that you can handle your emotions, responses to stress, and be determined by your general outlook on life. And again, that thought and that feeling. Research supports the idea that having a healthy sense of mental well-being has many benefits, right? It allows you to experience enjoyment in life, promotes resilience in difficult situations, fulfill your goals, as well as build and maintain relationships. Stress, however, is a normal part of life. We don't want to, it's not like, oh, we want to make it bad. No matter how much we wish for a stress-free life, I'm going to pull this over here. Stress is a natural human response that is necessary and ever present. In small amounts, stress, such as having a deadline, can improve mental health and well-being by boosting productivity, alertness, awareness, and energy levels. However, when our experience of stress becomes prolonged or greater than our ability to cope with it physically and mentally, it becomes physically and mentally draining. Chronic stress can be overwhelming and has consequences on your body. And it did for me. That's where I was in July. Burnout is a state of complete mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion. Can I get that's where I was. If you're experiencing burnout, you might notice difficulty to engage in activities you normally find meaningful, all the things I won't go into all of that, but physical symptoms: headache, stomachs again, fatigue, frequent illness, emotional helplessness, cynicism, decreased satisfaction, loss of motivation, behavioral signs, procrastination. Many of you said, I procrastinate, procrastination, withdrawal or isolation. Knowing the causes of your burnout, work-related causes, lifestyle causes, personality causes. In fact, I'm going to just sit there just a second. Having little or no control over your work causes: lack of recognition, overly demanding job, expectations, monotonous or unchallenging work, chaotic or high pressure environment, lifestyle issues, working too much without socializing or relaxing. So put those things on your vision board. Lack of close supportive relationships, put those things on your vision board. Too many responsibilities without enough help, not enough sleep. Sleep was on my health vision board. Personality, this is why I stopped for this. Perfectionistic tendencies. I was there. I'm a recovered perfectionist, fully recovered. Perfectionist view of yourself and the world. Pessimistic view of yourself and the world. I know that someone said, I'm finding it hard to be positive, need to be in control, high achieving in nature, right? So there's just wherever you're feeling. So what I did was, one of the coping things was I ate emotionally. What you should know about emotional eating: work stress, financial worries, health issues, relationship struggles, all those things is emotional eating and disorder. Emotional eating on its own is not a disorder. It can be a sign of disordered eating, which it may develop into an eating disorder. But if you're eating like emotionally, stuffing down your emotions, or you're just craving different foods, and it's going to impact your health, right? Drinking to cope with stress, all those things. You want to actually be really mindful. That's pulling down your emotional scale. I think, have I got an emotional bucket list, I think. So what you want to put on your vision board, we'll relate it back to your vision board, right? So things that could be fun. We're not saying what is a bucket list, create your bucket list. Okay, let's see. 10 things to do. Travel around the world. That is me. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Learn a new language. Spanish is on my vision board. Try a profession in a different field. Achieve your ideal weight. That's on my vision. Run a half marathon. Girl's done that. Take part in a triathlon. Not doing that. Take up a new sport. Go scuba diving. So it's like fun stuff. I want to go snorkeling, can't swim. Love to go swimming. Never, not skiing. Never been. Go horseback riding. Extreme climbing mountain. I've done that. Yeah, I like all the bucket list items. I love that. And connect with past teachers. Give a heartfelt surprise to someone. Done that. From a kind deed without expecting anything in return. Make a difference in somebody's life. Do that with the charities. Become a mentor. Doing that. Oh, love it. Pursue your passion. So that's why I don't feel start your business. Done that. Come back online. Fly in a hot air balloon. Have not done that. Wanted to get married in one. Sing to an audience. I will spare everybody. Do volunteer work. Doing that. All the things. So emotionally, I won't close that because I want to actually share that in the homework. Emotionally, you want to see what you want to experience on your vision board. And again, my vision board, it's not perfect. You just start with your vision board. Some of the things I liked, I've got the emotional scale on there, the balance with the heart and the brain, because you know how we get like into the stuff. The Keepers of the Light Oracle card, being a beacon of light, I wanted to be like that feels really good to me. I was listening to Whatever Arises, love that from Matt Kahn today. I love tapping, just happiness and joy. That's the goal. As Casey Neistat was saying in his interview, he was saying, you know, that he'd achieved so much success and sold companies and been really under pressure with all these jobs and doing all the things. Now his life is so simple. He was doing YouTubing, doesn't do all the video. He's like, I do my work. I go out and make a living still. I don't have to, but I do. Then I want to play with my kids every single day, spend time with my wife, watch some TV, go to bed. Like this guy it becomes the things that you actually crave. You're not striving. For me, spiritual business success doesn't mean, that's why you see on my vision boards, it's not this big grandiose thing. It's the things that I feel like fun to me, and eating right, and learning about my emotions. The Astonishing Power of Emotions by Abraham Hicks is massive. Emotional intelligence is self-awareness, self-regulation and management, social skills, empathy, motivation, and passion. What will you be putting on your vision board? All of the vision boards, and making it fun. Right. So if you have fear around, and you can get some of the pictures from Pixabay or Pixels. If you have fear around anything, really, if you have fear of your own success or you have fear of serving others, then that's the vibration that they're going to feel. So when we talk about banking 50K in 50 days, it's like, okay, well, how you feel is setting the energy forward for when you're having conversations and you're being in service. We don't want that. So values, you want to be in alignment with your values. So I don't know if I've done all of these, but my emotional freedom frequency daily soul intention statement is, I say I'm happy, I'm grateful, and I appreciate being high vibe and loving. Me, I'm at peace with being high vibe and loving. I am high vibe, and I give tough love, but I'm loving. And I love acting and moving as one in my highest vibration in my loving form. I walk my talk. That's really big for me, to walk my talk now, in a high vibing and loving, leveraging my light work and lifestyle, and acknowledging my daily routines, my morning, evening, and nighttime routines that support me to be as fit and emotionally intelligent as AF. Okay. And again, for the Seven Freedoms frequency, if you are in the Seven Freedoms frequency call-in gym, if you invite people into the challenge, I will gift that. I've gifted 2 people that already. We're going to make this fun. We want to make it fun. The Soul Income game, the Bank 50K in 50 days, is a game for me, and I'll share with you how we do the game, how we play the game. What I want you to be thinking of, and we play the game with this vibrational money voucher, what I want you to be thinking of, what are your top priority goals in, or bucket list items in, for your emotions? Like, what is fun? What do you really want to achieve in 2024 that feels like, oh, that would be amazing to do that? Because when you're working towards something, you don't take all of life so seriously. So set your soul's why, your intentions, and again, look back on evidence. So for me, doing some of those bucket list items that I mentioned, I've done some and I'm like, oh, I've actually got evidence. And you don't realize how far that you've come until you look back. So this is the vibrational money voucher. I don't think I can make it bigger. Yeah, I can. For the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge. Now, it's energetically feeling good about money. Now, I know that some of you have said, like, I've got a fear of selling, but we move into that vibration of receiving. And so it just becomes natural. And selling doesn't become, it becomes showing up, speaking out, and serving deep. It becomes, on the masterclass, I'll share with you what I show you is to speak to, serve, and sign up your high planning soul clients. It's not about dragging anybody kicking and screaming, because you can't. But if you're so out of alignment and so far removed from actually being a business owner and actually signing up clients, then it's not going to manifest, right? You've got to feel good about it. So this is a way that we feel good about it. So in the Soul Legacy Journal, this is the Soul Legacy Journal, I call it 365 Days of Your Spiritual Awakening Story, a co-created soul path to spiritual alchemy for light workers. So this journal on a daily basis, and I'll share with you how you can follow on this journey with me. We spend this vibrational money voucher every single day. So we feel good about the energy exchange of money and all the experiences on our vision board. It becomes fun. It becomes a game. And so we spend it. We come from the space that all of our bills are paid, all of our savings are done, and all of our taxes are done. And this is spending money. You tithe 10% to a worthy cause. My worthy cause is Compassionate Friends. It's a charity for bereaved parents, because I am one. So even the grief, I've transmuted that into a loving energy and a loving act by doing something for others who are in a similar position, that of the same position that I am. We can always turn other things around to really serve us, right? And for me, receiving that soul client income has that soul family influence and that soul tribe impact, right? When you're finished, you'll have this video montage that you're really excited and you feel good about looking at. So for your homework, I'm going to share with you more, but for your homework, I want you to put in the vision board group 7 things that you're grateful for, and then post your homework on how you want to feel and what actually what visual images represent that feeling for you. Okay. So one of the things that I did when I wrote my book is, it's called Spiritual YouTubers from Scratch, a soul guided influencer's compass to leveraging your light work and lifestyle on YouTube. Now, I have got early learning dyslexia, but I wanted to write a book. So I wrote this book, I edited the book, I formatted the book, and I launched the book. And in that book, in my contribution to the world, I've actually put everything that I'm doing here, and I invite my readers off the page. So it was fun for me to write the book, because I want to change the way that the self-help industry works, meaning that it isn't just about writing a book and that's it. It's about inviting people to work with you and position. So you don't then have to sell, you actually just share your story. So thank you for subscribing to the Soul Legacy TV. So I have 3 podcasts, a daily podcast, which is the 7 Freedoms Frequency, which I'm going to share with you. It's daily to balance your light work and your lifestyle, right? And then we have the Soul Legacy Journal podcast, because I have a co-author book that I'm going to invite you guys to be part of if you have a spiritual awakening story. And then I have the Spiritual Awakening Story Summits, where I invite others to share their spiritual awakening story. Okay. And so on the daily podcast, as we go through, that's not a good look. As we go through this Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge, I invite you, and this is free on the YouTube channel. I've created a YouTube podcast, and every single day you can see for weeks, I've gone through this process, and that's how you stop that procrastination. You keep that motivation every single day. You make contribution, freedom, fun. You track it, you put it on your vision board, and then you say, you work backwards from that vision. We're beginning with the vision in mind, and we work back. What is it that you need to do now? You can only do so much. So it avoids overwhelm, it avoids procrastination. You ask the unit, what is it that I need to do now? And if you're working with me, I will share what you need to do now. So the next day is health freedom. So every single Tuesday, we talk about health freedom. So that is balancing our life. This is for me first, then it's for students, then it's for you. Emotional freedom on Wednesdays, environmental freedom on Thursdays, relationship freedom on Fridays, spiritual freedom on Saturdays, financial freedom on Sundays. So no matter when you are watching this, I'm doing this challenge live annually, but I've committed to every single day showing up on my YouTube channel for me, journaling for me. We know the benefits of journaling and the awareness and the emotional stability that we can have through journaling and getting our feelings out onto the page. So, or burn it if you don't want to share it. But with Casey Neistat, he said he went on, and I didn't know that until today. I'd already set this intention, right? I've scheduled my business out for 7 years. That he went live with a daily vlog, whatever it is, for 800 days. 800 days. Like for 8 years, he did 800 days. Like what the heck? Or 800 episodes, whatever it was. I was like, wow. And he got to 200,000 subscribers, and then the next 18 months he got to 10 million, and he's known for like being really big. I've heard of his name, but I don't know all of the things. So I'm just like, wow. So the Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge starts when you register for my masterclass. It's a Bank 50K in 50 Days challenge. It happens on the last Monday of the month at 3 p.m. UK time. Whenever you're listening to this, I've committed to showing up, speaking out, and serving deep. And on the masterclass, I will show you how to speak to, serve, and sign up your high-paying soul clients. Hang on. I wanted to go on the outside of this page. Hang on. Is it this one? Yeah. So when you've signed up, you don't have to wait. You can come and get the bonus gifts, right? Enroll. Again, I want to share with you how to speak via video, serve via video, and sign up via video, and you get these bonus gifts within my online training portal. And here is the online training portal. So I don't feel any kind of way because I don't feel overwhelmed. I don't feel like sometimes when we think spiritual business success, or we think I've got this vision to make this big difference in the world, but what will I do? We're worried that we'll be overwhelmed, that, you know, when people come to us, we won't be able to handle it. So I teach to create passive and leverage. I call them soul client income streams. And I use this one-page plan. Right now, this is me doing the Facebook group. I posted in the Women Helping Women Entrepreneurs Facebook group, and hundreds of you said, I want in on this challenge. I created my own Facebook group, which you've seen. Then this is my 7-day live challenge. And there was my masterclass and bonuses. And then I have the back end of my business. Now, it's not about banking 50K in 50 days if you have a fear of selling. And this is where, you know, some of you said, I don't have a clarity in selling. I have the fear around it. And we'll talk about this more on Sunday. But I want you to have that vision in mind of contributing and how you could contribute. And so I have a business model where we have what I call your soul signature system, and we have options for people. So a book, I have a co-author book. If you don't want to write your own book, I did my book again on pre-order, got it to #1 on Amazon in 7 days in 7 categories, and gave myself a year to write it. So I don't do overwhelm. All right. And so it's just a beautiful way. Inside my book, I have this 5-day challenge, and it's $55. For book readers, they get a $55 off coupon code. So when you bought the book, you get, that's a funnel. That's a way of having people work with you. So it's not like, well, just buy my stuff or come and work with me. You've got a funnel. You've got a place for people to choose the level of investment that they want to work with you. I've got that's a passive income stream. The book's a passive income stream. Create a passive income stream means create it once and you sell it over and over and over again, right? So work harder, not smarter. Smarter, not harder. $55, which is a 5-day challenge. It's self-study. It's not the same as this one. So you create it a couple of times live and you put it on self-study. Again, $55. A 12-week video. It's all video. Course. I've got a boot camp. And so I walk my students through my 6 steps and how to create passive income streams and how to bank 50K in 50 days, basically. And that's $555. And it's a passive income stream. So I'm not overwhelmed. Like when you want to go to the Soul Legacy Academy and sign up, you absolutely can right throughout 2024. I love it. And I made a vow to never let anybody be outpriced. And I made a vow to offer 10 times the value that anybody ever invests in me. So like there's a lot in there and there's bonuses and different things. And then my mastermind, which isn't cheap. It's expensive for some people, but I've got other offers. And so the Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge, you decide, okay, what are my price points? What am I going to offer? Who am I going to offer it to? And how am I going to offer it? And the easiest way to do without doing funnels, without doing webinars, without doing sale, without doing ads and investing in all those things. And the easiest way to do it to get to know your audience is to get on the phone. And so I said, would you guys like to get on the phone? And I will offer value and I will share more about this and more about this 1-page plan, whether you enroll with me, invest in me or not. And so there's 40, I think it's 42 or 43 of the sessions have been gone in 3 days. And so I will share what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and how I'm doing it with my students, because it's so much easier than when we're showing up, speaking out and serving deep and we're offering value. People can clearly see our style. We're open and we're transparent. And that for me feels really good. It's not about like, well, I'm not going to tell you my pricing. I'm not going to tell you do you know what I mean? It's $5,000, but it's for 12 months. And then we have the retreat as well, open to masterminders first. And so it's just a beautiful, 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 beautiful model. I love it. These things are annual or they're repurposed or they're leveraged or they're all these things. It's just absolutely beautiful. And I didn't start there. I started with the webinar that's similar to my masterclass back in November 2015, right? The Purpose to Profits webinar, Purpose to Profits online. I had 8 people on there. 1 was my assistant, 1 was my student, 3 were my speakers for my summit. And then I had a couple of people that are new to me. And I sold the bootcamp that I'm sharing with you for $1,000. And I did it live and I sold 2. So I made $2K on my first ever webinar, which is pretty cool because not everybody does. That was all that time ago. And now I have the masterclass for you guys to watch. You can watch on replay. You don't have to wait until I do it live. You can do it. I've got students on there, co-authors on there. And then we do the homework. So I'm going to help you with implementing the homework. So if you want to move forward and you don't want to wait until I do it live, that's where we start the Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge. So we do the vision board and then we and I've got slides for you in there. So if you don't know how to create lots of stuff, you can always model. All right. So the Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge is in there. All right. So I love it. I absolutely love the model. I think it's amazing. Let me see if I've got anything to cover on I don't think so. I think we are all good. Are we all good? Okay. So, okay. More people asking to join. So in the group, post your homework. Well done for those of you who posted your homework and expressed your gratitude. Really, really, really well done. Really super excited to see more vision boards. And if you're not actually actively taking part in the challenge, ask yourself why not. And this is how you're ending the year. And you want to continue. You want to go into 2024 strong. You've raised your hand. Yes, I want to do a vision board challenge. Yes, I want to do a vision board party. Yes, I'm all in. Crickets. Don't do that to yourself. Your family and your loved ones deserve the best version of you. And it's time, right? It's absolutely time. So when you're watching this, take action, right? Comment down underneath the video, this training, let me know, share it out with somebody else who needs it, because that fear and the procrastination and all of those things, if we're in business, we're going to enroll. Like I said, it's not the selling. When I said fear of failure, fear of success in selling, I wanted to create a way in my business where I never felt like I was selling, and I never felt like I didn't have to be fearful, because I knew what I've got is of value, and I know, and I've got testimonials as well for the for my students, but also for the Bank 50K in 50 Days Challenge. Hang on, let me just share that with you. Part of that one-page plan is to get testimonials. Now, you can't hear that testimonial, but this is Sydney. Sydney was on earlier for the Bank 50K in 50 Days, and it's just amazing. So if you want to check me out, have a look on my YouTube channel, and have a look at some of the success stories. This isn't about dragging anybody kicking and screaming. It's about you being in alignment with being in service the way that your soul has called you to, and just really getting out of your own way. I wish you like every success in 2024, because you're here, and that work-life balance means not doing work that you don't love. I never ever feel like I'm working, ever. Like this is like my work. This is me. This was an hour of my work annually, 7 hours in a year. The model that I'm sharing with you, 7 hours every year, not a pop-up, pop-down Facebook challenge. You guys are in the Facebook group. Anybody that comes in, if you guys invite people in, anyone that comes in is going to go through the same process. I don't have to be here. I don't have to create again and again. Many of you will watch on the replay. Welcome. Many of you will watch on the replay anyway, because there's time zone difference. There's I couldn't keep up with the hundreds of people that said yes to this. Like, I literally couldn't. I haven't got the emails done, blah, blah, blah. But what I'll do is I'll repurpose it, and this will become part of my funnel. It's just absolute gold. Tomorrow is environmental freedom Thursday. Then we've got relationship freedom Friday, spiritual freedom Saturday, and then financial freedom Sunday. All of the days matter for living an intentional life and actually altering your vibration and your perception to get to that 50K. And so what does T. Harv Eker say, the author of The Millionaire Mind, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind? Your income can only grow to the extent that you do. So if you're not growing, and I know you're growing, but if you're not growing to that level of that vision and raising your own vibration, you're going to sit in that fear. You're going to fear failure. Like, when we're growing, we're going to fail. Like, and we're going to fail over and over and over again. Hey, love. How did you get in here? Do you want to be in here? How did you get in here? Hang on. What happened there? Oh, no, I know what it is. Am I sharing a different screen? Hang on. Oh, no, it's not Robin getting in here. I was like, Robin is big. Freak me out. Robin is not in here. So that's me sharing another screen. I'll share with you what I'm seeing. I'm like, how did she get in here? This Robin sharing. I'm like, what? You see Robin's face. Oh dear, that frightened me. Anyway, so that is it for today. I see you guys tomorrow as we continue on the vision board party. I'm excited. Here's showing up, speaking out, and serving deep. Big love. Take care.